Hi, this video is about your pre-writing assignment for your analysis essay. So I'm going to talk about assignment goals, assignment instructions, and then I'm going to talk about how you're working the research into this pre-writing. And then this is different from the first essay. And then I'll show you my example. Okay, so the goal is to write a 400 to 500 word pre-writing with both depth and scope. In other words, it answers a set of reporters' questions about the topic, the stance, and each of the major supporting details in your plan of development. It shows what you already know about your topic, and also you want to make sure that you include the correct data from your research in your pre-writing. So you're going to need, once you've read and read the reading assignments and watched the video, you're also going to need your list of research websites that you found in your thesis statement short writing assignment. And you are going to use your research about your pay and benefits, your career's pay and benefits, job availability, and required education and training in your pre-writing to answer no more than 2 questions in your pre-writing about your major supporting details only. So up to or no more than 2 questions can be answered by the research. And it has to be in the sections about your major supporting details. So you should have up to 2 in your first major supporting details section, up to 2 in your second major supporting detail section, and up to 2 in your third major supporting detail section. What if you only find 1? That's fine. It's 1. 1 is up to 2. It's not 3, which is more than 2. So 1 or 2 is fine. Don't go over 2. And some of your information should come from graphics like tables, charts, and graphs, because the research for this assignment is data, not expert opinion. Okay. So just like the last set of instructions, open your document for the unit short writing assignment. For this assignment, save it as your pre-writing. Make sure that your approved thesis statement's at the top. And then you're going to write your pre-writing about your approved thesis statement's topic, stance, and plan of development. You're welcome to use any type of brainstorming technique, but they all have to answer. There have to be 5 sections of it, and they all have to answer a set of reporters' questions. Reporters' questions are questions that begin with the words who, or what, or where, or when, or why, or how. Now, you're going to use your research to ask and answer no more than 2 questions in your 3 major supporting detail sections. And you're going to format your quotes from your research with quotation marks only, and you're going to integrate them into your sentences using correct grammar and punctuation. You don't need in-text citations until the research assignment. And don't forget, don't use your research in your pre-writing's topic or stance section. Okay, and just like the previous pre-writing, it has to be clear on your pre-writing what sentences answer what reporters' questions in what section. And for it to have depth and scope, it has to have depth and scope, and it has to contain 400 to 600 words. Okay, so let's look at my example. So here's my example. So just to remind you, just a little review. This is my thesis statement. And I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste it down here because I'm bad and didn't do it to start with. So my topic is teaching college English. My stance is, my tone is positive, and my purpose is because. My purpose is because I'm explaining. I am analyzing. So purpose is because, and because it's an analysis. And the particular words in my thesis statement earns an A+ as a career choice because. And then my first major supporting detail is it pays okay and has great benefits. The second one is easy to find a job. And the third one requires a master's degree in English. I'll put that down one more. I don't like things being separated. It requires a master's degree in English. So I've showed you in the first video, the expository essay video about the pre-writing, how I do it. I put in my subtitles, topic, and what the topic is, stance, what the stance is, what the tone is, what the purpose is, and then I put in major supporting detail 1, major supporting detail 2, major supporting detail 3, and what those are. And then I go ahead and type a set of reporter's questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. And then I just copy and paste those in all the other sections. I get all of this ready before I even start asking and answering questions. Then I go back and I start asking questions. And because this is the second time we're doing this, one of the things that you may want to think about is, because you're always thinking ahead, right? You should always be thinking ahead. That's good critical thinking, is thinking ahead. Looking at possible outcomes before you even decide, while you're even still in the beginning, thinking about what I'm going to do, or how I'm going to do it, or when I'm going to do it, or where I'm going to do it, or why I'm doing it, or who's even going to do it. In that beginning step of critical thinking, you should be thinking about the outcomes. So as I'm writing my questions, I'm asking questions I think I know the answers to, that I can at least guess a decent answer to. And I may not write my who question first. I may come down here and write the why question first. Now, you notice I have them all organized by who, what, where, when, why, how, because that makes it easier for Dr. McClellan to grade it, and she appreciates it. But I may jump around, actually. And sometimes, and this may happen for you too, sometimes I'll even have an answer before I have a question, or before I even know what question goes with it. For example, I already had the answer: many teachers prefer to teach college students rather than K-12 students because of the rules required of K-12 teachers. So, and I know that from personal experience. I don't like all the rules and regulations in K-12. I also don't like dealing with people's parents. I like dealing with adults. And so I had that already in my mind, and I thought, you know what, that'd be a good who question. Well, let's write that one. Who wants to teach college English? So some of these, as you do this assignment and the next essay assignments pre-writing, what you may realize is that it's very much back and forth. Because what you're doing with this, even before we get to the outline, is you're making some sort of sense or logic out of the chaos of what's in your brain about the topic, about the stance, and about the 3 major supporting details. Okay, so here's my first set of questions and answers. Here's my second set of questions and answers. I want to focus on, this is the same thing as it was in the first essay. This is the part that's a little different, right? Because you're actually able to do research before you get to the research assignment. You're actually gonna do it during the pre-writing. So I wrote my questions and answers. And this one, what are English teachers paid? Well, what I did, my process is, I actually went to Google, and then went to Google Scholar, and I typed, what are English, actually it's professors, what are college English professors paid? And I actually several articles, but it didn't really tell me anything about what college English professors are paid. So then I went back to Google and I did just a general search. And I came up with salary.com, but I'm looking for a .gov website. I want a .gov website. And so I dug around a little bit and I found the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? Because this is I need professional secondary sources for this one. And then I can worry about getting the academic ones. And I did this search and I came down with Occupational Outlook Handbook, or Data Wage by Occupation. So this one looked interesting, so I clicked on this. And it gives me all kinds of different things down here. Now, you can go in and explore these if you want to, but I wanted to just get to it. So I just did a keyword search in the Occupational Handbook. So college teachers are considered post-secondary teachers. And look what I come up with. I've got a summary. I've got a job description. I've got where this employment takes place, how to become one, so the education, the work experience, license certifications and registrations, advancement, important qualities, just a whole lot of stuff. And then I've got pay. Well, I said pay and benefits, so let me find English teachers on here. Wow, you'll notice this is in order of most to least. So here we go on down. Here we go. English language and literature teachers post-secondary. That's an English teacher. So 75,930. And you guys know I'm the queen of copy and paste. And so I came up here and I typed in this question. I typed in the answer to this question, and then I pasted my amount in here. And this is one of the instructions. This is research. So I need to put it in quotation marks. But I also need to work this into my answer. Rather than say according to, it's part of my answer. It's one word. This is considered a word. It's just one, and it's right here. So nationwide, English professors average about $75,930 a year. I wish I made the average. That's all I'm saying. And then I copied and I pasted the URL right here. Let me paste it and show you, because some of y'all may not know this. See how it's not an active URL? If you press enter, your enter button, it'll make it active. So there's my first one. I only need, I need one or two. I'm not going to worry about getting two. So this question, because this major supporting detail is about it's easy to find a job, and the most popular place to look for a position teaching English is the job listings in the Chronicle of Higher Education. And all I did was go to the Chronicle of Higher Education, and over here on the left menu I looked up specifically faculty positions in humanities, English, and literature, and here's a whole list of them. A whole list of them. And then I copied and pasted that into my document. Now down here, this one, oh, it won't stay down, will it? Down here, I actually got to wondering about it. When did a master's degree in English become a requirement for teaching college English? Well, I know part of this answer. From the beginning, to be able to teach anything in college, you have to have at least a master's degree. You have to be 1 to 2 degrees above the education level of the students that you're teaching. That's always been a requirement since, oh gosh, since the formation of the very first colleges like Notre Dame in Paris, France, and Oxford, and I can't remember the other one. That's terrible. Cambridge, Oxford, and Cambridge in England. So I know just from being an English professor that to be able to teach freshman composition and sophomore literature classes, I have to have at least a master's degree in English. To teach junior and senior level English classes, I would have to have a PhD in English. It would have to be in my subject field. So this is a little different from what you did before. I understand, but this is good analytical writing. This is good analytical writing. Let me go back to this jobs, and I want to go, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I want to go back to the first page for this. So when you click on the Occupational Outlook Handbook, let's put in a couple of degrees that job careers that you might get with a degree from LIT. Let's put in process operating. Yes, I do. Okay, power plant operators, distributors, and dispatchers. We don't do power plants. I mean, you can, but for the most part, we are manufacturing. So let's look at manufacturing process operator. Well, look here, we get chemical plant and systems operators, our production occupations. I'm going to say, if we go to production occupations, and let's see what we get. Well, we get welders, and we have a welding degree. We get power plant operators, distributors, and dispatchers again. We really don't get what I'm looking for. So let's go back to that website and do chemical plant and systems operators. So this may be what comes up on your page. It may not be like mine with the tabs across, the nice little neat tabs across the top. Instead, it's going to go down the page. So let's look. So we need pay and benefits. So I'm looking at the subtitles here, the boldface, looking for something that says pay or salary. Here we go. So annual mean wage. Mean wage means it's neither the highest nor the lowest. And if I look here, look at that. So in Texas, at least, it says $72,000 to $88,000. And then if I come down here, so top paying states for chemical plant systems operators, I'm going to click on Texas, and then I'm going to come down to the titles, and I'm going to look at them. Industrial production, human training, farmers, education, architectural. Okay, that's computer, that's architecture. That's life physical occupations, community and social services, legal, educational instructional library. So they're not in alphabetical order. I don't know why not though. Healthcare. Oh, what's that one? Protective? No. Food prep, building grounds maintenance, sales, office administration, farming, construction and extraction. That's a nice way to say it. Installation and maintenance. Production occupations. So I'm looking for manufacture. I'm really looking for chemical plants. Oh, look, machinist is a really good one. Welders, layout, plating machine. Press. There's one up there that is just general, and I really didn't want general. Oh, there's our friend power plant distributors and dispatchers. Chemical plant and system operators. Okay. So we're looking for pay and benefits. Yeah, it just brought us back around to the same thing it was before. So I can check here and I can see that the hourly wage is about $37.80, and this is nationwide, and that the mean is $78,620. Now, of course, we know because we live here, process operators make a lot more money here than they do other places. And here it even has it broke down by metropolitan area. And anytime you look at something like this area, the Beaumont, the Golden Triangle area, Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Orange, we are included actually in the Houston area. It just doesn't list us. And so here it's $39 an hour and $82,000 a year. And so this is how you would find. So this is how you would find for like a process operator. It's going to look different. So, you know, like on this one, metropolitan areas with the highest concentration of jobs and location quotients in chemical plant and systems operators. In the Houston Woodland, in the Houston area, there's about 3,960 chemical plant jobs. So it makes up about 1.37 jobs per 1,000 jobs. And about 8.86 people who live in these areas work at chemical plants is what this means. So you're going to be looking at some of this. Now, if you have a hard time understanding this, extrapolating the information, talk to me about it. And I'll explain it to you. I don't mind. So yours might be like this, or your information may look like mine on this website. It presents it in more than just one way. Okay, now let me pull my document back up. So the other thing that you can use is, remember from the instructions, the other kind of secondary source you can look at is a local government website. So let's say you're going to be a police officer. So you would go to Beaumont Police Department, go to their website, and there's a whole lot of different things that you can do. You can find on these websites. So let's see. There's a Citizens of Police Academy. Okay. So I don't see anything on here that specifically talks about there you go, about how much they make. But look, under Administration Division, Training, Recruitment, there we go. Well, it talks about benefits, paid vacations, holidays, sick leave. There we go, starting pay $68,796. So this is a graphic. And if we want to, there we go, here's the same information. So if we want, we can get our information from here, or we can get our information from here. It doesn't matter. One of the two. So we've looked at, let me find my instructions. Here we go. So we've looked at Google Scholar. We've looked at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. We've looked at a local .gov website. We've looked at a .org website. That's the Chronicle of Higher Education. And you would be surprised how many of the degrees here at LIT that are technical degrees by nature have some sort of journal. It's not an academic journal, it's a professional journal that has a website. For example, if you're a welder, American Welding Society is your journal. That's a professional journal, and they have information about welding, about jobs and salary, pay, hourly wage, all those sorts of things. So you're going to be looking at all of these things because you're looking for information about pay and benefits, job availability, and the required education and training, because those are the kinds of questions that you need to answer about each of your major supporting details in your plan of development. Okay, if you have questions, contact me.